All right. Josh, I guess are you good to go if we were to start soon?
Sure.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead and share, make sure everything looks okay.
Yeah. Then I'll do a quick intro, kind of rolls the road, and we'll Charlie Mike. Unfortunately, unlike Carol, we don't have bacon wrapped scallops for appetizers to share with everyone, but that does sound delicious. Cool. So first off, thank you all. I definitely appreciate your time this afternoon. This is the first virtual Salesforce Phoenix user / admin group, and we're excited to be presenting to you digitally today. We have some amazing panelists, and the first one we're going to have is Joshua Mendez of the Salesforce Military program. We're also going to have Josh David from Recruit Military. And finally, we're going to have Ned, who's actually a fellow at MST currently, along with Christina. So as far as questions and answers, Q&A, basically after each presentation, we are going to facilitate that through the chat on the right side of your YouTube screen. You should see a conversation. It looks like at least a few of you have started typing in there. So thank you for that. Yeah, if you have any questions, please put them in there. I will read them off to our panelists, and they will answer live. So thank you very much. Joshua, please take it away.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here today, and thank you to the rest of the panelists for tuning in to listen to our presentation. So my name is Joshua Mendez. I'm an Army veteran, a 10-year active service. I wrapped up my active duty career March 2nd of this year, and on March 9th joined the Salesforce Military team, really helping to grow and expand our offering to support our veterans and military spouses, not just here in the US, but around the globe. So again, thanks for being here, and we'll jump right in. So just a quick overview of who we are as Salesforce. As I'm sure you all know, we're the world's #1 customer relation management software tool. We operate all over the globe with over 150,000 customers. Where we come in at Salesforce Military is we help veterans and military spouses learn Salesforce skills that they can take into the ecosystem and earn meaningful careers. I'll talk a little bit more about that, but it's what we do is we focus on doubling down Salesforce's commitment to the military community and providing really meaningful work for our nation's veterans. So who are we at Salesforce Military? We have two main functions. One is the broader Salesforce Military team, which I am a part of. Under that umbrella, we also have Trailhead Military, which is what I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Trailhead Military is our learning and reskilling and upskilling program where our members, again, service members and spouses and veterans in the United States, the UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand can earn free Salesforce credentials at your own pace from anywhere that you might be, whether it be behind a laptop, on a cell phone, at home, on the road. You can take it with you and continue to learn and grow using our platform. What makes us a little bit special, a little bit different is we take it one step further. We really pride ourselves in helping connect our military veterans and spouses that are looking for jobs with employers all across the ecosystem. So our community as of today is over 30,000 members. Some of them are here to watch today. Hello to you all. And we really put an emphasis on helping our veterans and our learners and our spouses be successful. And we really want to help them earn jobs that are meaningful, that are transferable, because we all know in the military community that when you have to move every 2 to 3 years, it can often be difficult to find a career that you can stay with regardless of where you are. So what does it look like on the broad scope? You'll see here a white paper published by the IDC not too long ago has identified that Salesforce will grow 4.2 million jobs across the ecosystem in 2025 with a $1.2 trillion impact on the global economy. And it's not just here in the United States. Like I said, we operate all over the world. And what we said is there's this great demand for Salesforce talent, whether it be an admin to the most experienced developer. We need to get people into these roles. We need to give them the skills to be successful. Our veterans and our spouses already have amazing traits. They're leaders, they're resilient, they're confident, they're go-getters. All of the great intangible things that employers are looking for, we know that you can bring that to the table. Where we come in is we give you those Salesforce skills and those certifications that will help take your resume to the next level and put you in front of employers and say, these are the best of what we can offer, and this is why you should hire them. You have our stamp of approval to go along with that. You also have 30,000 community members who are there ready to help you be successful. So why be a part of the Salesforce military community, or what does it mean? For employers, there's a couple opportunities. You can reach out to us directly. You can say, hey, Josh, we are looking to hire a Salesforce admin. We'd love it to be a veteran. We'd love to learn more about your program. What can we do? We can take those job requisitions and those empty roles that you need filled, and we can post them into our community, and all 30,000 members will have access to see that role right at their fingertips. From the user or the member side, we value our community like no one else in the tech space. I believe it's really our value proposition, right? Anyone can offer free training, anyone can offer free classes, and that's great, and we love to do that. Where we're different is our community is really one of common knowledge, of shared experiences, and one that we want to see others in our community be successful. So when you sign up, you immediately have a 30,000 person family that's there to support you with whatever you need. You can post a question in the community group, and you will get people who you've never met, maybe will never meet ever in your life, that are there to help you be successful because they know you come from the same family, whether you wore green or blue or tan or a Canadian flag or an American flag. It doesn't matter. We're all in this together. You also have you're also available to other learning experiences outside of just what's on the Trailhead platform. We host things like career conversations where you can learn and hear directly from Salesforce employees that are veterans. We have a strategic partnership with Veterati. If you're not a part of it and you're interested in learning more about jobs at Salesforce, please jump on Veterati. You have access to 200 Salesforce employees who have volunteered to give their time to help you learn either about Salesforce or about the ecosystem and what skills are really in demand out there today. And then you have access to things like classes that we put on, live interviews with people from Trailhead, just tons of information right there at your fingertips. And what really is kind of the bow on top of the present, for those of you that may be familiar with the Salesforce Military Alliance, which helped grow or helped guarantee interviews for Salesforce military personnel, that initiative has grown into a company-wide Salesforce Talent Alliance. This is over 250 customers and partners in the Salesforce ecosystem that signed up to hire net new Salesforce talent. That's people with 6 months or less experience with at least one certification, and is bringing them in and giving them an opportunity to work full-time at their organizations. Now, you don't have to be net new out of college or just out of the military. You could be a 20-year retired colonel and say, hey, I really want to try something new and try out Salesforce and earn your first cert. You would be net new Salesforce talent, and you're exactly what these Talent Alliance partners are looking for. What's great for you as a Salesforce military member is that these companies, as part of their agreement, have guaranteed to give you at least an introductory interview. That's part of their promise. As a Salesforce military member, the only other group they offer this to is Pathfinders. As a Salesforce military member, if you apply to a company that fits what you're looking for, whether it be remote or in Phoenix or Tucson or wherever you may be, they are promising at least an introductory interview with you. I'll have some more information on how to get signed up with that. So that's really kind of the overarching information that I have for you today. A couple places that you can look for more resources. Here you have who I am. Again, Joshua Mendez, Program Manager at Salesforce Military. My direct email is there. Feel free, if you have any questions once we wrap up here, to ask. You can connect with us and get some more great information. Follow us on Twitter at Salesforce Mil. We do a lot on LinkedIn as far as outreach and passing along information. So please do find us on LinkedIn, Trailhead Military by Salesforce. Also in LinkedIn, once you meet those requirements that I outlined for the Salesforce Talent Alliance, you can go ahead and be added to that group. And you can learn some more about just who we are at salesforce.com/military. So thank you for listening. Thank you for your service, for our veterans out there, for our employees that are in the ecosystem that are giving back to our veteran community. You guys are what makes us tick every day. You really are. To our employers, those that have brought military veterans on, thank you so much for supporting this community. And for employers that are interested in getting more involved, please do email me. I can get you in contact with whoever you need to get in contact with. But thank you for your continued support of our veterans.
Outstanding. Thank you, Joshua. And you brought up an amazing point. So as far as, those of us or those military members still in the Guard and Reserve, I actually started off my career. I was still in the Guard for the first 3 years of my Salesforce career while I was getting my certifications and working through the Salesforce Military program. So that's a great point. There's a couple other options as well, like the DoD skill bridge. If any of y'all are active duty, maybe you're an ammo guy over here at Luke or something like that, and you're eligible for skill bridge or anything else along those lines. The other cool piece is, as far as the Salesforce Talent Alliance, I am proud to announce that MST Solutions is actually a founding member of that program. And so, like Joshua was saying, if you go and get your admin certification, or at least a certification from the program, right? Chances are you'll be interviewing with me for a spot here at MST as well. So yeah, thank you again, Joshua. As far as questions, as of right now, it looks like we don't have any. If we do have any that come up though, and I can't answer them, I will happily refer them back to you. And I think email would be the best way to do that, correct?
Yep, sure thing. Or feel free to follow me or find me on LinkedIn. We do a lot of outreach there, like I said. Happy to connect with anyone.
Outstanding. Thank you, Joshua. And have a wonderful day, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool. So next, I believe we had Josh Damon was actually going to go over some tools that we can utilize with Flow. And by the way, Josh, as part of the intro, what is that shirt you're wearing?
Oh, it is my Veteran Trailblazer t-shirt.
That is definitely an awesome shirt. Yeah, I guess go ahead and start with an introduction. That's definitely a good starting point.
Sure. As Colin mentioned, my name is Josh Damon. I am the Salesforce Platform Manager for Recruit Military. Recruit Military is an umbrella of actually four different business units that our main goal is to help corporate America to hire military veterans and military spouses. We are the exclusive Department of the Army SFL TAP corporate partner to help all transitioning service or Army service members and the Army spouses getting out of the military to help find employment. So what we do is, through our Recruit Military side of our business, we host 135 plus career fairs for veterans and spouses annually. Usually those are in person. However, due to COVID, we made a shift to all virtual this year. But we were already doing virtual prior to COVID, so it wasn't too much of a shift for us. We also maintain a job board and resume database for veterans and spouses to apply for jobs, as well as our clients, those corporate partners of ours, can go in and search resumes and find candidates that way. We also help with media and marketing for those clients that are dedicated and want to make that investment in hiring military veterans and spouses. We also offer placement services through the Bradley Moore side of our business, where we place veterans in the more technical type roles as they're transitioning out, or leadership type roles. We also have a program called MBA Veterans, where we network, help student veterans from the top 100 MBA programs across the globe network with Fortune 500 companies like Google, Amazon, Cisco, a couple of the headliners from this year's event. And then we also have another platform called Execubets that we recently launched. We're replacing military veterans that have been out of the military for a little bit and in those leadership type roles in corporate America with executive level positions. So we solely help military veterans and spouses find employment. All of our services are 100% free for spouses and veterans, no cost to the veteran, and we're helping them find successful careers. So what I do is I manage all of our Salesforce platforms for all 4 business units. But I am also a Salesforce military grad. I've gotten all my certifications from Salesforce Military. I was part of the Dreamforce cohort last year for Salesforce Military as well. But today I'm going to show you a little bit of the communication tools that we use in Flow. I did a similar presentation on Automation Hour last month. But I'm going to give you the quick down dirty version of it so we can hear from everybody else. So let me share my screen. All right, so email and Flow. Most people are familiar with email inside of Salesforce. Normal email composer that you'll find in a contact or account or a lead. What I'm going to show you is how you can expand some of that functionality into Salesforce Flow so we can use it in other ways. The example I'll show you today is how we're actually using inside of a Salesforce community to communicate with community members. But what email tools do I have in Flow right now? You have an out of the box functionality that lets you send basically a plain text email, or you also have an option to send an email out using a normal workflow email alert that actually uses Apex to send that. But you're kind of restricted with those 2 options. You're restricted to 1, plain text, or 2, you're restricted to only being able to send that 1 email alert that meets those conditions. What I'm going to show you today is a little bit more things that you can do using some third-party tools, as well as kind of building your own as well. So what we're going to kind of go over really quick is just going to be sending a one-off email, actually using a template or HTML with some user input inside of the flow. Sending a mass email out of the flow using a template or HTML. So I can send to 1,300 recipients as an example, all straight from Flow. And then we're also I can show you how to create an email template inside of the flow that the user then uses to send in one of those 2 forms at the end as well. So without further ado, I will go ahead and move through my slide deck, maybe, if it lets me. And forward-looking statement is everything that you're going to see today. Don't make any of your purchasing decisions or anything like that on that. There's me. As I said, Salesforce Platform Manager for Recruit Military MBA veterans and Execubets. I am a 15-year Army veteran. I spent the majority of my career in the 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg in North Carolina, and then transitioned over into the Special Operations side of the house that took me to far-flung places like Africa, the Middle East, and I've been all over the world. And now I am a Salesforce guy. So demo time. So let's go ahead and get into my org here.
Is it bad if you were just got done talking about SOCOM, and when you said demo, I was thinking of sappers?
I don't think it's a bad thought. I think it's an exciting thought for some of us. So what I have here on my screen now is what we call our email MBA veterans contacts in a more perfect world inside of my community for our internal users. It's actually a flow that we use to communicate with our community members. I originally, when I first started building this flow, it was just strictly that. It was just email. Since then, I've added the ability to send out SMS messages using Twilio and things like that to community members. But when I start building a flow, I always look at my end user. our end user is extremely intelligent, great guy to work with. However, he's new to Salesforce. So he's trying to manage communicating with over 5,000 MBA students from across the globe, some that don't speak English, some that do, as well as speaking with top level clients, like I said, from the Google, from Amazon, from Cisco, from Walmart, so on and so forth. I wanted to make it someplace easy for him to send out email, which is his main form of communication, or text message, which is the main form of communication he has with the candidates. Salesforce is wonderful with tool to do that is Flow for us. We use Flow quite a few places, but in the back end here, I'm using quite a few third-party unmanaged packages. So as that forewarning, kind of on that forward-looking statement, before you install that, make sure you install any of the packages that I referenced today inside of your sandbox or in your dev org. Test there before moving anything to production. So on my flow, we can see here I'm giving it options as far as am I using a template or writing an email? Because I actually have two different components. One that's going to use a template, and I have another component that lets them do a freehand email that includes HTML. That looks very similar to the Flow email composer. I actually got that from the App Exchange. I'm also using an open source version. And then if I want to use an existing template, or do I need to create one? So for right now, we're gonna go ahead and create one. And then from here, what we have is I have 4 different buckets of who he's communicating with, was MBA veteran candidates, veterans business sponsors, university sponsors, or you have MBA Veterans Career Services. For those that might have gone to ASU, think of people that are working at the Pat Tillman Center. That's what Veterans Career Services are. So we'll go ahead and just do veteran candidates. So if we come back to our flow, how we're doing all of that is I'm assigning all those to a choice, where I'm setting the labels, the sub-labels, and then I'm giving each of those an icon if I choose to display the icon. And then on that screen, what I have is I actually have a custom Lightning Web component that I built called Josh's Custom Visual Menu. That is taking all that information and is putting that into the cards here. As we move on through our flow, once he makes that initial decision, we have a decision on which path we're going to go down as far as what types of candidates and so on and so forth. So we chose candidates, so that brings us up to here, where we're doing the exact same thing with that assignment and then with that screen to show those tiles. So we can see here what group do I want to go and get in my next step, which is going to be my get step. So from here, we're going to go ahead and get registered candidates. So that means that they're registered for the event in this case. So here we've moved past that. And all I'm doing is I have a get step for my get candidates, but in my case, it's actually get users, but we're referring to them as candidates. And Flow just froze up on me. So let's let that catch up in just a second.
We'll blame it on our overuse of technology with Zoom and YouTube and everything we have going on. Absolutely nothing to do with Salesforce itself.
Yes, pretty good chance. It's just, everything is just slow. Let me hit refresh. Oh, actually this caught up. The other thing is we can see here in my data table that we have 1,260 candidates in this list. So it takes a little bit to build that as well. Something to keep in mind and some of the stuff they're using. But this use case is where I can select the candidates I want to send an email to. So once this finishes loading, we'll be able to see it. And then maybe Flow Builder will refresh in that meantime. Oops. There we go. Maybe.
Now would be a good time while we're getting this back up. Does anyone have any questions? Whether it's about Josh and kind of what he does for a daily, recruit military themselves, or anything so far about these Salesforce flows and email that he's going over?
While we wait for those to load, real quick, just on my resources, notes, and links, we'll cover that while we hopefully work through our technical issues here. So Flow Email Composer, like I said, it's in the App Exchange. All you got to do is search for Flow Email Composer. There's also an open source version of it on GitHub, so you can customize that tool to your exact needs, like I needed in my case. So what Flow Email Composer does is it takes the native Salesforce email composer that you might see like in Lightning on the activities timeline, for example, and it brings that into Flow. Allows you to send it to, I think it's up to 200 comma separated email addresses, as well as CC and BCC functions. You can also pick and choose email templates inside of that composer. One caveat to that is you do hit some query limits. So if in your org you have hundreds or thousands of email templates, like what we have in our org, we have email templates going all the way back to 2012. And trust me, it's on my to-do list as far as finding out what's used and not used, but it's low on my priority. But if you use the open source version, what it does is it uses an Apex class to query those email templates to return inside of the component. You can basically just say, hey, instead of getting all email templates, I only want to get n number of records in that Apex class. And that was my simple fix and why I switched to open source there. Unofficialsf.com, for those that don't know, is a wonderful community site run by Alex Edelstein from Salesforce. A lot of flow tools, a lot of flow components, actions, and things like that, a lot of it's just stuff that hasn't made the cutting block as far as a release inside Salesforce, or it's stuff custom built by the community. And it's all packaged in nice installable packages that you can install in your org and test. And one of those is called Send Better Email. What it is an Apex action that we'll see that allows us to use either rich text that we get from a rich text component inside of our flow, or we can build an email template like what I do, or use a regular Lightning email template to send those emails out from. What's unique about it is it's not only available in Flow, but you can also use it in a process builder as well by calling it Apex action. So one of our other use cases is after our career fairs, we want to get feedback from our clients as well as the candidates to find out what went well, what went bad, and ways that we can be better. So we send a survey out. And what we do, but we want to send that survey out from the person who has that relationship with the client. So normal mass email and things like that doesn't let me do that. But what I can do is send better email action is I can send that email as the sale owner from that sale owner's email all in mass. Which really personalizes that messaging to the client, as well as when that client responds, it goes back to the person they should be talking to and not into a general mailbox that we then have to filter back out to who it needs to go to. And then just something to note, get asked a lot on installing an unmanaged package is, hey, I clicked the install package and it's telling me that I'm trying to, and it's linking me to my production org. How do I install it in my sandbox? So quick little note here, when you do click that link to install something, if you ever want to install it in your sandbox, all you got to remove in the URL is normally it'll say login here. You just replace that with test, and it'll give you the sandbox login. So let's see where we are here. All right, back to our technical issues. So as we move through our flow, We have our get candidates. This is where I'm telling you what kind of candidates to get. I'm going to do a count there. And then I have a decision here based off of my very first screen that tells me what type of email to send, whether I want to use a template or if I want to do something freehand. I'm not going to get too in depth through my loops and assignments here, but I'm also using a subflow off of this email that actually builds, lets the user build an email template. And then in my free text email, I'm using that Flow email composer tool from the App Exchange. When we're inside here, I do have some variables that I can set. Like I said, everything is comma separated here. I'm building that list based off of what the user selects inside that data table component that we saw earlier. And then from here, I can let them pick an email template if I want to, but I hide it. I use the send better email action for that. I can set the sender display name. I can also set subject, who ID, what ID, so on and so forth, if I want to tie that email interaction for activity to a specific record inside Salesforce. That's going, oops. So that's what we do in our free text. On my next one, if they do build a template or if they want to use an existing template, I have another screen here that allows them to look up that template. So I'm using another custom component. Apologize for the language there. This is normally just our internal users to get to see my wonderful naming of my custom components. But this is Josh's badass lookup. So from here, what I do is I'm looking at an object for email template. I'm just going to display that template name. And then once the users, and then I'm cutting it down in this flow to my MBA veterans folder. So I'm using a where clause to do that. And then from there, I grab the ID from that template that I will use in my send better email action. So send better email Apex action from unofficialsf.com. So in this instance, I'm doing a mass email where I set the sender settings. So what's great about using a mass email is that I will get an email as the user saying like how many emails were sent, what got bounced, and I get the full email report. So what I do here is I just set that description so he knows what that email is when he gets it. The sender display name, these come from Craig Griffin. He's our the director for MBA veterans, as well as his email address. And then I set an email template ID, and then I have a candidate ID collection that I do from the previous step when he selects what candidates he wants to send this email to. It's all really super easy and does a wonderful thing. So what's all this look like? Let's go ahead and we're actually going to send him an email. We have him as a dummy candidate in here. We'll send him an email, but I'll get a copy of that email as well. I also have another choice on one of the other screens where instead of going through this entire list, if he wants to send an entire blast, what we do is instead of populating this data table, we just put everybody into a collection and hit send after he selects the email template that he wants to build. So you don't have to worry about this load time. It's very rare where we have to select a specific user or contact. But from here, we're going to go ahead and select an email template. We're going to say for our Braun event, this is how it's done. Click next here. And what it did now is it actually just sent that email. So let me see if I can get my email pulled up here. I will pull that over. So here's a copy of my mass mailer. So I sent a mass email so you can see that it was addressed to one person, sent to one person. And then I can follow the links here to get that email. And I have not gotten an email yet. But I'll go ahead and pause there. We'll wait to see if the email comes in, or it might have been queued up because we might have some other actions going on. It's one thing to note here, because it is using the mass email in this flow, is that if you have other processes going, other mass emails going, it's gonna hit that queue before it actually sends. So it might not be instant when you're doing that. For real quick, so you can see what the flow email composer looks like, we're going to do a one-time email, and we'll do the same thing. We'll just kind of select here, we'll do register, and we'll just select one candidate, but I won't hit send. I'll just show you what the interface looks like. Oops. Yeah, it's not liking me when I share.
Yeah, it's always the fun part of doing live demos.
Yes.
So if anyone else has any other questions, now would be a good time to put them in the chat if you do, and we can address those while we're working on this next step here.
Yep. So I selected the one user, so you can see here we have an awesome, basically email composer that we have right here that we can use. It supports rich text. I can upload files as attachments that go out to that user via email as well. I can add in my CC and my BCCs here. So if I did want to CC myself or BCC myself, or maybe a manager or another user, I have that functionality right here inside of the flow, as well as setting the subject, body. And for my use case, I have the template option turned off. But if you do have template set to true, you do get an email template picker here. However, it only supports classic email templates. One thing to note there. And then full rich text, upload files, click send, sends the email, and I'm good to go. But that is all that I have, barring any questions.
Outstanding. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, I'll give it a couple moments. We don't have any questions flowing in yet, but just to make sure, let's go ahead and give it a second. In the meantime, Ned and Christina, are you all about ready to present? Outstanding.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Let me start sharing my screen here.
All right. And as y'all get started, and then just I guess before we get into that, Josh, if any questions do come up, I will definitely ask them. But yeah, Matt and Christina, is I guess if you could start off with an introduction of who you are, kind of what you do. Yeah, it's always awesome to have amazing people like both of y'all. And thank you again, Josh.
Christina, you want to go ahead?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. Thank you all for having me today. My name is Christina Keohane, and I am an Associate Product Marketing Manager at Salesforce, and I work specifically on the SMB product marketing team, focusing on our, again, small business customers, the Essentials product, and our Trailblazer community. A little bit about me.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Ned Reed. I am a recent retiree from the United States Navy. I spent 27 years in the Navy and Marine Corps. I started out as a reservist in the Marine Corps Infantry. I went to college and then went into the Navy as an officer. Spent 20 years as a supply corps officer and then retired. I got into Salesforce going through the 4-block program, standing in the hallway of the T-Mobile headquarters. The 4-block instructor said, "Hey, you should get into Salesforce." I was like, I don't know what Salesforce is. So I have 3 certifications. I got my first in March, and Platform App Builder, and then the Sales Cloud. I'm currently a Salesforce fellow at MST Solutions, and that program actually ends today. So this will be my final task as a Salesforce fellow. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, you should be able to see that right there. Like I said, my name is Ned Reed. I am United States Navy retired, also a veteran of Vet Force or Trailhead Military. I also was a Merivis grad, cohort 9. I graduated in August, but I didn't actually take my certs until March of 2020. As I said, I had 3 Salesforce certifications, and I'm now a Hire Hero Salesforce Fellow at MST Solutions. Okay. Okay, we have a
real quick,
yeah.
Before you get into your presentation, we actually have a question real quick.
Yeah.
So Heather Daniel was actually wondering, what is Merivis?
Oh, yeah, good point. To most of us in the military community, we know of Merivis very, very well. So Merivis was funded to do in-person training for Salesforce. So you go in, you do your Trailhead trail, and then you have, it's about a month or so of video classes, and then you do a week in session class. I did mine at Salesforce Seattle, and prepped me for the admin certification, and it was all free of charge.
That sounds awesome. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Glenn Goodwin said another Merivis. Oh, I guess he's another Merivis grad from 2017, and got his admin certification through them. So outstanding.
Yeah, it's a great community. It's a kind of on top of or additional from Vet Force, but it's definitely one of those things that the more people you know in the network, the better. So we'll go to Christina Keohane, and she'll introduce herself. She is the program manager for Salesforce Essentials.
Yeah, thanks, Med. So I wanted to spend some time, Med invited me to join this call today to talk about a program that I manage on the small business side called the Salesforce Essentials Advisors Program. So I definitely wanted to join and share some more resources and I think cool things that we're doing at Salesforce to really help the admin community as well. So as I mentioned, I am an associate product marketing manager for the SMB team at Salesforce. And I've been at Salesforce for almost 3 years now. And it's this is definitely one of the highlights of my Salesforce career at this point. Best part of my job, I've always focused on small business. So really helping our small business customers be able to find success with Salesforce. It's extremely gratifying and has a special place in my heart. So that's, I'm very passionate about what I do at Salesforce. And my best Salesforce memory is launching this advisors program, which I can give you guys more information about, obviously, in the next upcoming slides. But it's been such an honor to be part of it and to manage it. And I also did include on this slide my social handles as well. So if anybody did want to get in touch afterward or had any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to talk about all things Salesforce. So that's a little bit more about me as the program manager. And then if you can go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So a little bit more about, before we get into what the program is, I just wanted to kind of start off by saying that at this time, the program we're finalizing the second cohort of Essentials Advisors, which Med is part of that cohort. And we are planning for future, obviously cohorts and growing the program. Right now, that's something that I am planning on and managing as well. So TBD on when the upcoming cohorts are happening, but we will definitely be announcing that information once we have it. So these are some other just, helpful places that you can track on your own time if you want to know what we're doing on the small business side. We have the Salesforce blog, and then on the Essentials side of the business, which is our small business product at Salesforce, we have our social handles there as well. So once you learn more about this program, if you are interested in following up and learning more about future cohorts, those are definitely going to be great resources for everybody today.
Okay, well, I have a short video that I'd like to show. Hopefully it works out. We'll go do that now, and then we will jump to the rest of the slides.
Welcome to Torchlight. We are a certified Salesforce partner with Trailhead trained consultants in the Torchlight Marketplace that know the platform inside and out. Our mission? To radically transform how businesses like yours compete and win. Here's how we do it. We increase revenue and reduce back office costs by giving companies equal and affordable access to the technical talent they need to be successful. What we end up with is a marketplace of trusted, curated Salesforce experts who help businesses reach their goals. With Torchlight, our customers can find highly trained Salesforce freelancers, build teams, manage communications, deliverables, and payments, and rate their experience with comments, all on our online marketplace. At Torchlight, we work to bring together companies that need specialized skills to meet their goals and accomplished freelance consultants. We call these consultants flexperts, or in other words, flexible experts. They're available on demand with no minimums and no limit to what can be accomplished. Our flexperts are the very best at what they do. Only 4% of professionals that apply to Torchlight are actually approved as certified advisors. We make sure our flexperts are paid top dollar for their expertise, whether they're working on a short-term project or a long-term engagement. Playbooks are our way of connecting customers to flexperts. Once you purchase a playbook, you will get paired with the perfect advisor to get your job done. We have designed many distinct playbooks to help our customers with whatever their Salesforce needs might be, from implementing Pardot or Email Studio to customizing their sales process within our new Essentials marketplace. Ready to get started? Whether you are a business owner or a freelance expert, we are confident that Torchlight will have what you are looking for. So explore our options today.
Cool. Thanks, Ned. And if you can forward on to the next slide, we can dive right into what are these Essentials advisors? So as Ned showed you, that is the video for Torchlight, which is a third-party marketplace that we work with for the Essentials advisors to pair them with our customers. But before we get into that part of the program, I did just want to take a step back and explain what is this program and how did it get started and why did we start it? So the Salesforce Essentials Advisors was started last December, and the purpose behind launching this program was really twofold, because we had two different groups of individuals that we were trying to help out by building out this program. The first is new and aspiring Salesforce admins. You guys are super passionate, obviously, about Salesforce and learning, and people are getting admin certified all the time, which is incredible, and trying to really launch your Salesforce career and journey. So what we noticed with that kind of segment is while you're getting your certs and you're learning more about the technical piece of Salesforce, there's that lack of having hands-on experience working with an actual Salesforce customer and helping someone get set up on Salesforce and really having that kind of consult experience on your resume that helps you, again, launch your career and get your foot in the door, as an admin and, again, starting your Salesforce journey. So while we had that group that we really wanted to help out, on the other side of the coin, we have our Salesforce Essentials customers. And as I mentioned, Salesforce Essentials is our most simplistic version of Salesforce. It is, quote unquote, the out of the box version of Salesforce to bring the #1 CRM and the power of Salesforce to really small companies that are just getting started. So a lot of these customers are not as familiar with technology and are frankly intimidated by Salesforce. So they're having trouble really adopting the product and seeing how Salesforce can bring value to their business. So we developed this program to really bring those two groups together. We wanted to give those admins or advisors, once they are approved, the ability to have that hands-on experience by working with our Essentials customers to, again, build out their resumes and get those soft skills that they need to really stand out in the job market, as well as have our Essentials customers be able to get the one-on-one support they need to truly understand how Salesforce can work for them, get set up properly, and see the value. So that was the purpose behind building this program. And it's obviously been a great journey. It's still very new, but we've had a lot of success so far, which is great. And the video that you guys saw earlier for Torchlight, that, like I said, is a third-party marketplace. They are a Salesforce partner, and they have built out a whole marketplace platform for Salesforce Essentials advisors, where the customers can then go and be paired with an advisor on that platform to work on an Essentials project that they need assistance with. So that's a little bit more about what this program is in a nutshell. So feel free, Med, you can move forward the slide. And this slide here is just to give you an understanding of, again, we've talked about Salesforce Essentials advisors, but what Essentials is overall. So like I've mentioned, we're really focusing on helping our small business customers through the Essentials product and through our Salesforce Essentials advisors. And when Salesforce was started back in 1999, we started as a small business. So that's obviously was very top of mind at the time. But of course, as we've grown and we've innovated and we've come up with all these incredible new products, they've really been more enterprise focused, which is also amazing. But we wanted to take a look back at that segment of small business and make sure that we were able to give that power of Salesforce to companies just getting started, because they need a CRM too, and they need a way to manage their data and continue to grow. So Essentials is a very new product. It was only launched in 2017. So it's, again, the product is still fairly new as well as this program, but it's our really focus on shifting back to SMB and giving them that value. And so next slide, please. So this slide here, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of context as to what an Essentials advisor goes through when they get the opportunity to participate in this program, as well as where we are at currently with the newest cohort. So there is an application process for the Essentials advisors. And again, when you get into this program and you join a cohort, it's a really fast-paced, I'd say, but pretty intensive program. I don't know, Med can speak to that a little bit more because he's gone through the training, but it's about a 3-month training process. So we kick off with the cohort, and then on that kickoff, you receive an entire trail mix that was built specifically for this program. And the majority of that trail mix is all around learning the Essentials product. So you get a deep dive into videos, trails, as well as hands-on exercises that are meant to put you in the mindset of a small business customer and understand how to build out Essentials from the ground up. And I say that because, like I mentioned, Essentials is a more simple version of Salesforce. So it doesn't have as many bells and whistles as the higher edition. So there's more to learn about, what's different from this version versus the other editions. So we really focus on that in the training. And then as well during the training, it's not just product focused. We wanted to spend the time for advisors to get that soft skills training as well. So we offer the opportunity to be paired with a mentor through the Trailhead Mentorship Program. So if you are interested in getting mentorship, learning about how to develop your career and get that extra guidance, you are paired with a mentor who can obviously stay in contact with you past that mentorship program. But we wanted to give that ability, as well as Trailhead resources for soft skills trainings, resume workshops, things that are going to help you not just develop the product knowledge, but your career journey as well. So that lasts for, again, about a 3-month program. And once all the advisors have been approved, they've completed the entire trail mix, that's when they're added to the Torchlight platform to, again, start being paired with our Essentials customers and get that hands-on experience. So as of today, we have 2 cohorts that have been approved and have gone through this training. Ned is one of those advisors who just got approved. So congrats to Ned on that. And we also have 76 approved advisors overall. So since December, that's where we're at, and we're continuing to look toward growing that number as well. And like Ned showed you earlier, we have the Torchlight Marketplace. So I've included a link here if anybody's interested in seeing what that looks like, what Essentials customers see when they go to this marketplace, how advisors are defined, what types of projects they would receive. That's all on that web page. So I wanted to make sure to share that with everybody. And then next slide.
Okay.
So, go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In fact, I just received my email today to join the Torchlight community. But what I was going to show is we will show the trail mix. And it's not working at all. Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll go and we will show the actual Salesforce Essentials landing page. This is the Sales Cloud landing page. And essentially we built, part of the trail was to build all this out. It was out of the box. It's very easy to use if you have some Salesforce experience, but if you are a small business and you're just starting up, I can see how it'd be overwhelming to you. One of the things I thought was pretty interesting about this platform was out of the box, it comes with links to set up your activities right here. And when you go into the basic sales setup, you basically just click the link and then it walks you through a guided path to set up all these different things like connecting your email, starting your sales team process, doing some custom fields for your team. Pretty user-friendly right out of the box. But one of the things that's really cool about the Salesforce Essentials is it's scalable. It also has communities. So if you want to start out as a cupcake manufacturer and you want to grow to be the best cupcake manufacturer on the East Coast, you can scale it with Salesforce. And one of the communities that they do provide is right here. I'll show you my health community. And so if you were going to Big Hallie Surfing Company, that's my surfing company, and you need some help, this would be your landing page, and this would be where you can find out your community information and also submit for contact support. So just one some of the cool things that Essentials had, again, a very scaled down version. And if we can get it to work here, let's see if we can get to the oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, I just wanted to link to the trail here to show you what the Essentials Advisors program entailed and what you had to kind of go through. This is the Essential Trail, and again, it's a fairly in-depth program. You have to complete each one of these steps, earn the badges, do the webinars, and then there is a business use case at the end that is pretty detailed, where you have to set up the entire Essentials platform, and then you have a mock interview with a customer to build out their Essentials platform. So if any of you are interested, I think you could probably directly talk with Christina, and she can get you the application process. Other than that, that's all I have, Don.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing program. Thank you both for your presentation on that. I know there's actually a couple of people that are watching here live that are interested in the program itself. So kind of going up real quick. Okay, so going back to the beginning of the presentation, Heather actually asked, because I saw it on there too. So it had like, it said Twitter and LinkedIn for that you had them, but it didn't actually show what your handle was on there. Is there any way that you could
weird.
share that with the team, and I'll put it in?
Yeah, I can put it in the chat if you want to share it out. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know why that didn't work.
No worries. If we could click on the presentation, it probably would have worked, but through the YouTube and all that stuff, it wasn't.
Oh, no problem. Yes, I have a Twitter handle and LinkedIn as well. And just again, if there are questions about when we are going to be launching a new cohort, that is to be determined at this point. And we will, and just in terms of timing, I don't have that timing yet, but that's why I do recommend following the social handles as well for Essentials, which I can share here too, because when we do announce that and when future cohorts and applications do reopen up, we typically do announcements heavily on social to be able to push that out there. So that's where we would be sharing that information.
Okay, outstanding. And then Barbara, I don't know if you saw my reply in the chat, but basically she was looking for some of the links. I guess if I provide y'all with the YouTube channel, could you go in and add it maybe as a comment, some of the links from the various slides?
Yeah, I definitely can. Sure thing.
Awesome. And then, Matt, I think some of them were also from like from your slide deck and stuff like that. Some of the links they were looking for.
Yeah, I can add those in. I'll do that today.
I guess if I provide y'all channel, could you go in and add it maybe as a comment, some of the links from the various slides? Cool. I guess if anyone else has any questions, please feel free to put them down in the comments. Other than that, it looked like everyone was very appreciative, and I definitely am for both y'all's time. So thank you. If I provide y'all channel.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. This was great. I'm so glad that I was able to join.
Definitely. Yes. No, you did an amazing job. So thank you very much. Yeah, and I guess if anyone else has any questions, most of y'all know how to get a hold of me. I'll put it in the chat again. Y'all tonight.
Thanks. It was a great meeting everybody. Happy Veterans Day next month.
Yes, indeed, definitely. And thank you again, Josh, for your time as well. Awesome technical presentation.
Yep. Have a good one.